and it looked like Michael Jordan, trainer, has shared his thoughts about Caitlin Clark's injury and how he was able to transform MJ into the player we love today. You guys, that Caitlin Clark more than likely is going to miss yet another game. Now, many people has been speculating about her going to see other doctors, claiming that, the injury could be worse than what it is, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Now, I've been a strong advocate, me and one other person, about this Caitlin Clark adding this muscle to her body very quickly.
What links the legendary trainer who sculpted Michael Jordan's greatness, the nagging discomfort in Caitlin Clark's groin, and a tidal wave of online panic? It's not a riddle, but the headline gripping the sports world today, and the intensity is almost unbelievable. When the man who kept arguably the greatest athlete in history performing at his peak raises an eyebrow, people tend to listen. And right now, Caitlin Clark's devoted fan base is in a frenzy, a collective nail-biting session reminiscent of a last-second shot in the NBA Finals. But what exactly did Tim Grover, the mastermind behind MJ's enduring power, say? Why has the internet exploded with concern? And how did a seemingly minor groin issue become the dominant narrative in the sporting landscape? Fasten your seatbelts. This isn't just a minor setback. It's a full-blown saga unfolding before our eyes.
Let me ask y'all something. How come the NBA and these high-profile Hall of Famers, Hall of Fame trainers, Hall of Fame coaches, they more concerned about my precious CC than the WNBA? You hear me? It just don't make sense to me. I don't think they really just understand what's going on. They don't appreciate her. She don't need them. They need her at the end of the day. Am I right or am I wrong? I'm waiting. I know I'm right.
Tim Grover. The name alone conjures images of sweat-drenched gyms and a relentless pursuit of perfection. He wasn't just Michael Jordan's trainer, he was a confidant, a silent architect of his physical dominance. So, when Grover's insights turned to a young phenom in a different league, specifically regarding the physical toll and injury risks, it carries weight. The transcript we're dissecting today reveals Grover's thoughts on Caitlin Clark, a player who has undeniably set the WNBA ablaze. And the timing couldn't be more crucial, with Clark sidelined due to a groin injury, a situation that has fans and analysts alike searching for answers, and perhaps more worryingly, assigning blame.
Everything to Michael Jordan, how he was able to help him overcome his injury. So if you guys didn't know, MJ, his second year, because the NBA used to be just as physical, or if not more physical, than the current WNBA. Now, the referees wasn't as bad. These are probably the worst referees we have seen in all of basketball ever, bro. Now, with all that being said, the homeboy over on Twitter, Mike, he put together a collection of tweets kind of breaking down his thoughts as well about this whole situation. He stated, "This is what I mean when I say I think Caitlin Clark adding a lot of muscle so quick may have impacting her mechanics, thus leading to so many soft tissue injuries."
One of the central points of discussion, both in the provided audio and across social media, revolves around Caitlin Clark's offseason transformation. The visible increase in her muscle mass was initially met with praise, seen as a sign of her dedication to enduring the rigors of professional basketball. However, a counter-narrative has emerged, one that Grover seems to subtly support. Did this rapid increase in muscle, while intended to enhance her durability, inadvertently contribute to the soft tissue injury that's now keeping her off the court? This theory suggests that the body might not have fully adapted to the new muscle mass, potentially affecting her natural mechanics and increasing the strain on areas like the groin. It's a complex equation where good intentions might have unintended consequences, a point that has sparked considerable debate among those following Clark's journey.
What is it about Caitlin Clark? She's got it. She's got swagger. She's got, if you will, balls. She's tough. She's shrewd. She's not a good passer. She's all-time great. And she makes logo threes, and she makes them beautifully. She jump shoots the way Steph does from the logo, where she's not feet on the floor pushing set shots. She goes up, holds it, and flicks the wrist, and has incredibly underrated strength. She's just got all-time it factor. She's doing things on a nightly basis where you sit back and say, oh, she's selling them out like crazy. That's Jordan-esque.
The official word from the Indiana Fever regarding Caitlin Clark's injury has been, well, vague. Terms like lower body soreness leave much to the imagination and have done little to quell the rising tide of fan anxiety. In the absence of concrete details, speculation has run rampant. Are there underlying issues the team isn't disclosing? Are they being overly cautious? Or is there genuine concern about a more significant problem? The lack of transparency has only fueled the online frenzy, with fans dissecting every available clip and social media post for clues about Clark's condition and the timeline for her return. This information vacuum has created an environment where even the slightest hint of news, or even just informed opinion like Grover's, is seized upon and amplified.
Why is that an issue? I asked this question respectfully, Nafisa, because I remember in the 80s, for example, when Magic Johnson and Larry Bird took the NBA by storm and they were winning championships, competing for championships, but then this dude named Michael Jordan came along. And Michael Jordan came along and he wasn't yet winning championships, but his popularity was so astronomical that the NBA practically marketed everything they could around this guy. So to know that there's an example like that as a shining example to be followed that could benefit the league, particularly down the road, why is that an issue when we've seen that such a marketing plan has worked in the past?
I don't think it's an issue. I do think Caitlin's a star. And like I said, people want to see her, and we are trying to grow the league. Like, you need to.
Interestingly, the concern for Caitlin Clark's well-being seems to extend far beyond the immediate WNBA community. The transcript highlights a sentiment that NBA players, former All-Stars, and legendary trainers like Grover appear more invested in Clark's situation than perhaps the WNBA itself. Why this disparity? One theory suggests it's a recognition of Clark's immense star power and her potential to elevate the entire sport of basketball, regardless of league affiliation. Her marketability and the sheer number of eyes she brings to the game are undeniable, making her a valuable asset that transcends league boundaries. This external concern could also stem from a deeper understanding of the physical demands placed on elite athletes and a worry that a promising career could be jeopardized.
In your guys' opinion, do you feel like Caitlin Clark gets kind of targeted at some of these games, or it's just basketball?
Yeah, she get targeted just like Jordan got targeted.
It's a privilege. You're the best player.
The Jordan rules. They had the Jordan rules. When you're so good, yeah, you're gonna get targeted. Absolutely. It just is what it is.
Absolutely.
Like come on, man. You gotta, like, when you at a disadvantage, like, I feel like, just like boxing or something. If you fighting against the best, you got to do something and junk it up.
Before the groin issue sidelined her, Caitlin Clark was putting on a nightly show that had captivated audiences. The transcript vividly recalls her torching the court, draining deep three-pointers, and making dazzling passes. This recent memory of her exceptional performance makes her current absence all the more jarring. It's the classic sports narrative, a star seemingly at the peak of their powers suddenly brought to a halt. This abrupt shift from dominance to the sidelines has left fans feeling bewildered and, frankly, cheated out of the excitement Clark consistently delivered. The contrast between her electrifying play and the current uncertainty surrounding her health has amplified the sense of unease.
I'm just saying, I'm calling it how it is. Hey, that's Nike material. We ain't talking Reebok. We ain't talking about Shaqs. We ain't talking about them type of shoes. You hear me? We ain't Reebok. You hear me? We talking about the CC effect. Caitlin Clark. Without her, nothing moves. It just makes me so upset. Like, see, people like me who appreciate the game, who have played the game, and know what the game supposed to look like, understands my precious CC, Caitlin Clark, and the meaning of.
The discussion in the audio touches on Michael Jordan's own experiences with injuries early in his career. Despite his phenomenal talent, Jordan faced a physically demanding league where opponents often resorted to aggressive tactics to try and contain him. The transcript suggests a parallel with the current WNBA, which some observers believe has become increasingly physical, perhaps even more so than the NBA at times, though with officiating that some deem inconsistent. This historical context provides a framework for understanding the challenges faced by exceptionally gifted players like Clark, who become targets for intense defensive pressure, potentially increasing their risk of injury.
Look, Matt's right. I totally agree with him. And I agree. This is just rookie hate. They did this to Michael Jordan. Okay? This is what when you are a hot shot rookie, and she hasn't totally dominated the league. Obviously, she hasn't dominated at all. But she's putting up great numbers for a rookie. But Jordan came in averaging 28 points, and people were physical with him. We know he got iced out of the All-Star game and stuff like that. So this is normal. It's oddly, the WNBA looks more physical than the NBA at this point. But Matt is right in that, like, look at Aaliyah Boston. I think she should have, stepped to her, and you do protect your teammates.
Adding fuel to the fire are the voices emerging from online communities. The transcript mentions a specific tweet suggesting that the rapid addition of muscle might have altered Caitlin Clark's mechanics, making her more susceptible to soft tissue injuries. This kind of armchair analysis, while sometimes lacking professional medical backing, resonates with fans who are desperately seeking explanations for Clark's sudden ailment. The sheer volume of opinions, ranging from seasoned analysts to casual observers, underscores the level of attention and concern surrounding her injury, even if some of the diagnoses are, as the transcript humorously notes, akin to NBA Twitter trolls suddenly believing they are orthopedic surgeons.
Are the Indiana Fever thinking about shutting down Caitlin Clark for the year? This was an announcement from them earlier today. Many of you know Caitlin Clark has been dealing with a groin injury this year. She picked it up in June against Seattle. She missed a bunch of games and then re-aggravated it against Connecticut just a few days before the All-Star game. She's been out since. She's missed 11 of 23 games this year. But this is the statement today from the Fever. Caitlin Clark underwent further medical evaluations earlier this week, which confirmed that no additional injuries or damage were discovered. This is very good. Clark will continue working with the medical team on her recovery and rehabilitation, with the priority on her long-term health and well-being.
The Indiana Fever's official line of lower body soreness stands in stark contrast to the detailed injury reports often seen in the NBA. This lack of transparency has created a breeding ground for speculation and, as the transcript puts it, a nationwide groin panic. Fans crave specifics, timelines, and a sense that the situation is being handled with the urgency it deserves. The vague updates, however, feel dismissive to many, leaving them to interpret the silence as either a sign of a more serious underlying issue or a deliberate attempt to downplay the situation. This disconnect between the team's communication and the fans' desire for information only exacerbates the anxiety surrounding Caitlin Clark's absence.
She's one of the best athletes we've seen, period. Like, let's not talk about women's sports, men's sports. She is an elite athlete on her own caliber, in her own tier. I'm really excited for what it means for women's sports, because more eyeballs means these women get to have the salaries that they deserve. They have the resources that they deserve, that they have earned and worked for. We can't just have a top tier female athlete be a top tier female athlete without it coming with but and. Right. And but. There has to be some kind of polarization. There has to be some kind of controversy. The whole narrative of having to protect Caitlin Clark has a lot of nuance behind it, and nobody is having those conversations.
Beyond the immediate injury, the transcript delves into Caitlin Clark's profound impact on the WNBA. Her ability to draw massive crowds, generate significant media attention, and captivate even casual sports fans is undeniable. She possesses a rare it factor that has the potential to revolutionize the league. This makes her absence not just a blow to her team, but a setback for the entire WNBA, which is experiencing unprecedented levels of interest, largely due to her presence. The fact that NBA figures seem more attuned to this impact than perhaps some within the WNBA highlights the unique position Clark occupies in the broader basketball landscape.
Caitlin Clark, the Michael Jordan of the WNBA. On or off the court, she is changing the culture of the WNBA. A paradigm shift is upon us in the WNBA. A name, Caitlin Clark, is that new paradigm, and whether she is leading while on the court or off, things are changing. As was Michael Jordan when he first came into the NBA, he ushered in a new culture. Let's just say Jordan and Clark share one simple design concept in common when it comes to playing the game of basketball: neoclassical. Jordan played the game in its traditional format, yet placed a brand that stuck. Clark has and will carry on that same concept.
The idea of Caitlin Clark being targeted by opposing players is also raised in the transcript, drawing a direct comparison to how Michael Jordan was often the focus of intense and physical defense. This is often seen as a backhanded compliment. a recognition of a player's exceptional talent that necessitates special attention from opponents. While a certain level of physicality is inherent in basketball, there's a fine line between aggressive defense and potentially dangerous play. The concern among some observers is that Clark, as a high-profile rookie, might be facing overly aggressive tactics that could increase her risk of injury.
Hey, bro, I know y'all want to hear it, man. Y'all WNBA true fans, all 24 of y'all don't want to hear the fact of this is 1,000% the Golden Goose. I don't care if they selling race. I don't care if they selling drama. I don't care if it's not about basketball. We have never seen the WNBA this hype. It could be negative or positive. It don't matter. What is Caitlin Clark's foul doing on CNN? They got the girl getting hit in her head on CNN like it's Obama.
After weeks of speculation and vague updates, the Indiana Fever finally released a statement confirming that further medical evaluations revealed no additional injuries or damage. This news, while somewhat reassuring, was tempered by the announcement that Clark would continue to work with the medical team with a priority on her long-term health. This carefully worded statement, while intended to calm fears, still leaves the timeline for her return uncertain and reinforces the idea that the team is taking a cautious approach. For many fans, this only prolongs the anxiety as they eagerly await the moment when Clark will once again step onto the court.
TV, I was watching Caitlin Clark in the Indiana Fever. So I've compared her to Michael Jordan, not stylistically, obviously, but in merchandise sales, kind of a dynastic TV rating changer. And in year one, like you just were like, wow, nobody plays like that. And then in year two, Michael Jordan got hurt. And then in year two for Caitlin Clark, she's getting banged up and hurt. Why did MJ always get hurt early? Because they were tackling him. Nobody knew how to stop him. And the WNBA officiating is just changed. Like it was always a physical league. Now it's insane. So last night she gets hurt again.
Ultimately, the transcript circles back to the initial theory. Could Caitlin Clark's rapid muscle gain have played a role in her groin injury? The analogy of a finesse player built to glide and explode rather than bulldoze highlights the potential trade-offs between strength and agility. While increased muscle can offer durability, it can also affect flexibility and put additional strain on joints and soft tissues if not properly integrated. The transcript paints a picture of a player whose body might have been pushed too quickly in one direction, potentially leading to the current predicament. This raises questions about the optimal training approach for a player with Clark's unique skill set and the delicate balance between physical conditioning and maintaining the attributes that make her so exceptional. The silence surrounding the specifics of her injury and recovery only amplifies these concerns, leaving fans to wonder if the very efforts to prepare her for the rigors of the WNBA might have inadvertently led to her current time on the sidelines.